Good evening and welcome to SAMS Newsbite. I'm Nicole Peters and making the headlines this week. New Deputy Speaker of the House elected. Governor talks to SAMS about the airport and the youth. A team from Lanseria and Basil Reid arrive in preparation for Aussie audits. And in sport, Larry Legg is 2016 Open Champion at Longwood Golf Club. Legislative Council met on Monday the 19th of September to elect a new Deputy Speaker after the resignation of Mrs. Margaret Cathy Hopkins due to declining health. Two candidates stood to be elected by the Council, Mr. John Cranfield and Mr. Cyril Gunnell. Mr. Cranfield won the first vote by 6 to 5. As a minimum of 7 yeses were needed to fill the role, a second vote was taken and Mr. Cranfield won by a 10-1 margin, with the only no vote being the Honourable Wilson Duncan. Mr. Cranfield took the prescribed oath at 3 p.m. the following day. Last week, SAMS interviewed Her Excellency Governor Lisa Phillips. A range of topics were discussed in the interview, with a main focus on the airport and the youth of St. Helena.
Why did you depart the island after less than 100 days on St. Helena?
Okay, I went on holiday in August, actually the 31st of July, yeah. So I come here from Kenya. I had a couple of weeks in the UK, but they were all working and briefing, and I decided to go home for a summer holiday to see my family, who I hadn't met for very long. And then when I came back for Ascension, and I did 5 days on Ascension, which was my first working trip to Ascension.
How did you find Ascension?
I thought it was fabulous. Really, it was an island with a purpose. Everyone talks about Ascension as being a working island, and I could really see that. During the day, there's no one out on the streets because everybody's hard at work. And in the evening, everyone's relaxing from their hard day at work. So I just thought it was like nowhere else I'd been, actually.
All right, so next one. Why does SHG keep saying that they'll keep us informed on the airport, yet refuse to give us straight answers to questions?
So the airport obviously is on the top of everybody's list. What's happening, what's not happening. The straightforward answer is we're in a period where we're collecting information, and that's not actually that interesting unless you're someone that knows a lot about weather data. Now I do know a bit about what's going on, and so every time a plane lands we're collecting pilots' reports and we're collecting wind information from there. There's all kinds of weather instruments up at the airport, and every day all the data is being collected up there. On top of that, there's a computer that's looked at St. Helena and has looked at where all the wind comes from, and it's analysing what's causing wind shear. In addition, there's a model of St. Helena that's been put into a wind tunnel at a university in the UK, and that's all, they're working out what's happening with wind shear there. And then there's something called a LiDAR instrument out at the airport, which uses remote sensing to also work out what's happening with the wind. Now I'm sure a Met person could tell you much more from it than that, but that's my understanding. But really, until we have enough data, because this is a safety issue, you can't really rush it. So until we have enough data, I can't tell you when that will be. We're not really going to have anything else to say.
You can find the interview in full by going to our Facebook page and clicking on the YouTube video. A team from Lanseria and Basil Reid arrived by airplane to St. Helena on Tuesday afternoon. They arrived on an ExecuJet chartered flight that touched down without problems at 12:45 p.m. The team will now be preparing for an Air Safety Support International audit that St Helena Airport will need to pass before they can be issued with another aerodrome certificate. The current certificate is valid until November. Now sports.
Larry Legg became the 2016 Open champion at Longwood Golf Club on Saturday. His final round 74 meant he was able to get his hands on the claret jug and become the golfer who stood in the way of Scott Crowey picking up his 10th consecutive title. It was outgoing champion Scott Crowey who presented the claret jug to Larry. Nick Stevens finished in the runner-up spot. Ladies Open champion was Joan Thomas with a total score of 161 in the Ladies Championship rounds. Anne George was runner-up. Brian Peachy Coleman won the A flight, Cecil Thomas the B flight, and Kaylin Crowey was C flight winner. This was Kaylin's first ever Open appearance. Now, football. Strikers in the Football League have seemingly found their shooting boots again. 36 goals were scored over the weekend. The much-welcomed rains made for slippery conditions, but teams successfully combated them, and the pitch at Francis Plain withstood the rains and held up well for all fixtures. Rovers ensured they were still in the hunt for league glory with a convincing 7-1 victory over Fuji's in the weekend's opening fixture. Young player of the match Ronan Legg fired in a hat-trick, and man of the match Clayton Benjamin scored twice. Jordan Jan's goal was consolation for Fuji's. Defending champions Hearts defeated Chop Shop Boys 5-2 on Saturday afternoon. The defeat sees Chop Shop Boys slide to third spot in the table after being on top from week 3 to 12. Hotshots captain Simon Scipio rolled back the years and netted a hat-trick in his side's 6-2 defeat of Crusaders on Sunday morning. Dane Wade and Julian Fuller fired in consolation goals for Crusaders. Bellboys avenged their first-round defeat against Axis with a 5-0 victory against the Boys in Pink in Sunday's second fixture, and Wolves continued their run of stunning form and smashed home 8 unanswered goals in a convincing win over Refugees in the final match. Hearts now hold a 6-point lead with a game left to play. If they are to successfully defend their league title, they will have to depend on Axis, Fuji's or Hotshots to take points off a second-place Rovers team who have 3 games left to play and already have a positive goal difference that Hearts will not manage to match. Rico Benjamin leads the goal-scoring chart with an impressive 28 goals. He has 3 games left to play, while his nearest rival, Cody Thomas, is 3 goals behind with just 1 match left to play.
So that's it for another Newsbite. Please tune in again next week when we will be bringing you more top stories. But until then, I'm Nicole Peters and thank you all for watching.